Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing, testing. That should sort the volumetric issue on the sound out. My apologies for that. My word, I'm a numpty muppet. So just confirm that that has solved the problem. Pull up the fader, man. Pull up the fader. Goodness gracious. Welcome to Amateur Hour. I was just saying I'm joined by my illustrious compadre, His Royal Highness Lord Edward Yellow Ted, Field Marshal of the Meat Militia, and he's here to twiddle the knobs. Aren't you, Ted? Good boy. And to make sure that I stay on track by doing the right things like pull up the fader, son, and stuff like that. You go down there and twiddle the knobs, Ted. There's a good boy. Now, for those of you that are new here and have no idea what's going on, basically, you'll get it if you've got any kind of sense of humor or intelligence about you. Basically, this is the Field Marshal of the Meat Militia speaking right now, and we're going to do a live response to a very serious video put together by some pharmacist about the cholesterols, though. Yeah, goodness gracious, London Viking, that's a poor effort. Poor effort. Going off to bed already. Haven't even got started. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Yes, Ted is a saint. You're quite right. Hey, Dean, good to see you, man. Yes, right. So the name of the game at the moment is live response videos because I don't have time for editing. For those of you that don't know, I used to be a professor of health science. These days I'm a farmer. Who'd have thunk it? And we had 2 very serious flooding events a couple of months ago. So I'm chasing my tail, fixing up things. No time for editing. So we're doing live responses. Anyway, let's do a live response. This is someone called, I don't know, whatever, who cares? And she's a pharmacist. She'll probably tell us what her name and stuff is. And she wants to tell us all about the cholesterols, though. So let's hear all about it. And I shall make commentary on the fly as I see fit in our normal fashion. There'll be lots of pausing. So if that's triggering for you, you're in the wrong place. There'll be some interaction with the floor. Right, Ted. I mean, you guys on the floor out there. Yes, good morning.
Why do almost 50% of heart attacks occur in people with normal LDL cholesterol levels?
Yes, that's right. Why do 50% of heart attacks occur in people with normal cholesterol? Would that have anything to do with the lack of any evidence extant anywhere whatsoever that cholesterol is in any way causal in heart disease in the first place? Then it might be something that makes logical sense rather than something that's viewed as some kind of paradox. Yeah. Good morning from Australia. Good morning, Australia. We're glad you could make it. Well, let's hear her out before we decide whether she's a drug dealer. Given that she's a pharmacist, I expect that she will probably want to sell us some pharmacological intervention of some kind. Would be surprising if she didn't, wouldn't it? So let's hear it.
Less than 100. This LDL particle here is unhealthy for our arteries.
False. No, it isn't. That's just an LDL particle. It's just a vehicle. It's a transport medium by which things that don't dissolve very well in water, i.e. wouldn't dissolve very well in the blood plasma, which is water-based, can be transported through the blood plasma in clever little packages that are hydrophilic on one side and hydrophobic on the other in a bilayer membrane type setup, such that it basically is an emulsifier, and so lipids basically and other non-water soluble things can be transported in the medium of the blood. So no, it's not unhealthy. It's encoded for by your genes. It exists there because your genes have been instructed by the situation in which those genes find themselves to switch on and to generate the protein that identifies this particular package as what it is. This is supposed to represent an LDL. Perfectly natural, perfectly normal, encoded for by the genes, and no, it's not unhealthy. So she's wrong right out of the cage, isn't she? Boys and girls, staff, ladies and gentlemen of all ages. Goodness gracious, this one's bad to have in your blood, she says. It's not starting well, is it? I hope it gets better. I really do. I don't think it will, though. Do you?
This LDL particle here is just doing its job, and it's not that big of a deal.
All right. So one of those is bad for you and one's not, even though they're the same particle. Shown at different scales here. Whether we're supposed to take that to mean that one is a larger, lower density particle and one's a smaller, higher density particle, or whether one's closer to the camera and one's further away, well, who knows? Which is it? See, science is about eliminating the possibilities that confound the assertion you're trying to make and communicating clearly about what is able to be stacked logically upon what. I know, it's all that boring sciencing and stuff I've been trained to do for several decades. Gets me in trouble all the time, doesn't it, Ted? Ted? It seems to be fervently tooling away at the knobs. He's busy, so we'll leave him to it. Right, pharmacist lady, nice pharmacist lady, do carry on.
This LDL particle here is a killer.
Dum, dum, dum! It's a killer, that one. That's supposed to designate LP little a, lipoprotein lowercase a, if you like. I think is what they're trying to show us there. That's a killer. All right. Let's have a court case and see if there's enough evidence presented by the prosecution to gain a conviction for this particular vehicle with this particular protein on its surface to be a killer. Shall we? Spoiler. Guess whether or not she's going to actually come up with the evidence for that. Give us your votes now in the comments section, just because it keeps the vibe of the show rolling in terms of the algorithms issues with the YouTube here. Don't forget to share out the link to the stream to your social medias so that all your mates can go, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you sending me this guy? It'll be awesome. It'll be great. You can talk about it around the table or something. I don't know. Ted, what are you doing upside down? Goodness gracious. That's no way to twiddle the knobs. Goodness gracious, he's back with us. Sort your life out down there, Ted. Don't forget to comment also on this video when it becomes a pre-recorded video after the live event on the channel as well. And probably watch it through full length 3 or 4 times as well. Those kind of things help. Or you can send me all your money. That'll help with repairing the farm and feeding Ted. Yeah. How else can you help? Oh, if you want, you can come here to the farm. Well, if you can get past Ted. If he thinks you're okay, you can come here and help out. Field Marshal DC was here a couple of weeks ago. He was awesome. He's a brute of a man. He's quite a bit more buff and muscular than he seems to be on camera in real life. The real Dave. He was incredible, was Dave. Goodness gracious, Jonathan's been a member for 47 months. And yes, do hit the like button. That's another thing. Or actually, if you don't like, you can hit the unlike button. It makes no difference to the algorithm. Both are positive algorithm events. What they're showing the YouTuber is that you are passionate enough about what you're seeing to react in some way. Who'd have thunk it? Right, let's carry on with this nice cholesterol lady anyway. So we've got perfectly safe vehicles. We've got identical vehicles that are unhealthy somehow, which we're yet to qualify what that means or why we would say such a thing. And we've got another one that's almost the same, just a very slight bit different with an extra protein. That's a killer. Dum, dum, dum. That's what she said. Anyway, let's hear about bigger is better or something.
So what's the difference?
Oh, good question. Maybe I should shut up and let her answer it.
LDL cholesterol particles are not all the same.
Right, well, there's a next mistake, isn't it? She said LDL cholesterol particles. Shall we all say it together, boys and girls? LDL is not cholesterol and cholesterol is not LDL. They're not the same thing. One of them is a carrier for the other one, among other things, because it's not just cholesterol that are carried by lipoproteins. It's all non-water soluble facets. Okay. So, no, LDL cholesterol, she said. No, sorry. Which is it that you're talking about? Are you talking about these packages, which you're showing on the screen here? Or are you talking about the stuff that is carried by those packages, among other things? Be clear. This is not clear, is it? Goodness, I wouldn't necessarily want to buy pharmaceuticals from a pharmacist who couldn't be clear about what she was talking about. Should I ever come across one of those? Or to be fair, any other pharmacist pretty much. I really don't like what they're peddling, mostly. Anyway, that's for another day.
Some are different sizes, and
that's what she said.
Some are more dangerous than others.
That's what she said.
And one, called Lp(a).
There you go, I was right. What a good guess that was. Lp(a). Yep.
Is the most threatening for
the most threatening. Oh, hang on, I thought it was a killer. Which is it? Is it a threat or a killer?
Cardiovascular health.
For cardiovascular health, it's a threat, is Lp(a). Whew, I'm glad we got that squared away in terms of your assertion of some fact that you haven't supported in any way, shape or form there. You've just said Lp(a) is a threat to your cardiovascular health and a killer. Well, members of the jury, what do you think of that? I think we're going to need a bit more, aren't we? A bit more is what we're going to need. We need more from you too, Ted. Effort's been a bit poor lately, son, I have to say. Ted did clean up the desk, though, Dave, if you're still here. I don't know if you saw that in the comments earlier. Goodness gracious, this desk has been piled with tables and bits of paper and bank statements and bills and God knows what for months. Ted hasn't done a damn thing about cleaning his area up. It's been disgraceful. Anyway, I can see the desktop now. It's awesome. I did it yesterday while I was waiting for jolly old Windows. Yes, my computer system died yesterday, so I'm on the backup system until I can fix it. Just because everything's falling to bits around here, except us. We're fit and healthy, and anyway, let's hear about cholesterol.
And 1 in 5 of us have dangerously high levels of Lp(a).
1 in 5 of us have dangerously high levels of Lp(a). God, this is getting worse, isn't it? Dangerously high levels. So we're talking about a cause and effect inference here, aren't we? Danger. This causes that. Example, danger, jumping out of a window at 500 meters above the ground with nothing below you except the ground would cause you to come to a sudden stop at the end of that fall, and it's that sudden stop at the end of that fall that will kill you. Absolutely. That's a dangerous thing to do. Is that what we've got going on here with some lipoprotein that is encoded for by our gene set, the very gene set that is the peak of evolution to this point, the very gene set that has survived every positive and negative selection pressure placed upon it for the entire eon of existence of that gene set, and somehow it has developed in a way so inane as to give itself instructions to manufacture a protein in itself that is going to kill itself. Because it's a killer, remember? I think we're just about done with the whole theory right there, aren't we? If we just apply some basic common sense and logical thought patterns. What do you think, Ted? Oh, now he's got the shits with me. He's not even talking to me now. Come on, Ted. Come on, son. I can't do a thing with him, boys and girls. Yeah. Good to have you back. Thanks. Good to be back. I managed to escape Hotel California. Nobody escapes Hotel California. I'm the Air Marshal. Nobody gets away from here. He'll be back. You can check out anytime you like, remember? But you can never leave. No singing or guitar imitating. It's the rules. Anyway, we're talking about cholesterol, aren't we? And how it's dangerous and a killer. So she's saying words and making claims, all sorts of crazy claims, really. all sorts of causal danger statements, but she hasn't actually provided us with anything to support that at all. Not a damned thing, has she, so far, members of the jury? Keep your ears pricked for any actual evidence of anything, which, by the way, would come in the form of an experimental, scientifically controlled study. Let's see if any of those come out of this.
And we're not aware of it because most doctors in the US, at this time at least, do not test for Lp(a).
Well, I wish they'd stop testing all the other lipids too, really, because lipids and the current lipid panel testing and interpretation methodologies and procedures and all of that leave a lot to be desired, frankly. They're based on theology, in fact, false theology, demonstrably false theology. It's quite concerning.
I'm going to go over LDL cholesterol particle size.
Oh, rightio. Size matters. That's what she said.
And what is ApoB and how do these relate to plaques forming in the arteries? And I'm going to explain Lp(a), what it is, and what you can do about it if you're...
Right, and what you can do about it. Keep your eye on that ball too, by the way, because it's interesting.
For that 1 in 5 with dangerously high levels.
That's right, don't forget, 1 in 5 dangerously high levels of Lp(a). 1 in 5 of us. That could be you. Dangerously high levels. I better shut up and let her tell us more about it.
We'll go over medications that are currently available.
Ah, good. I'm glad there are medications to solve these problems. Phew. Ah, well, we don't need to watch the rest of this, do we? We just buy the medicines. Jobs are good and nothing to worry about anymore. That'll take care of your dangerously high ApoB, won't it, Ted? I'm not paying him his appearance fee today. Not unless he bucks his ideas up.
Available that can affect Lp(a) and new medications in the pipeline that are coming soon.
Imagine being
good. So there's existing medicine and there's more medicine coming soon, and an ad.
Being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
I'm on board now.
Hi, I'm Vina. I'm a board-certified pharmacist.
Oh, good. She's board certified. That means everything she says is correct, obviously. We can relax now. Vina is totally credible, even though she just wants to make wild claims about cause and effect and danger without backing that up in any way, shape or form. 1 in 5. That could be you. Or Ted. It could be Ted, couldn't it? Knowing Ted's behaviour. Oh, who knows? What are you doing on my mug, Ted?
Working in the US with over 20 years of experience.
20 years of experience doing what? Filling scripts? Deciphering what the scribble on the paper is, deciding what drug that was supposed to be, giving it to the client and telling them how to take it and contraindications and things to be aware of. Have a nice day. Clearly you're an expert in heart disease etiology then. Etiology, by the way, is a word that means the cause of, the underpinnings of. Unlike myself, who didn't teach cardiovascular pathophysiology at the university level for more than a decade. I was in academia for more than 2 decades and had 3 different specializations during that time because I get bored easily, as you can tell. But anyway, yes, clearly this woman is the one we need to listen to. She has all the credibility. Good.
I became interested in this because I found out that I am at higher risk than...
Oh, because she found out she was at risk. According to whom, on the basis of what? Still. Your worships. Probably a fair question. Probably a fair question. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, he is. Ted is definitely on the good stuff. He's on the good juice right now, aren't you, Ted? Good boy. Good boy, Ted. Oh, yes, indeed. Lol. Bro can't pay a premium. No, I just won't. I certainly can pay that if I wanted to. I'm not going to. I don't. I've got plenty of things to pay for if I want to pay for things. I, for example, need to put a new culvert in my driveway so I can drive a vehicle on it because it's currently just a fucking hole in the ground after the floods, you know. I could reinstate a couple of miles of fencing that got torn out. I could buy an excavator. I did. I could buy an RTV. I did. I could do all sorts of things, but buying a YouTube premium, that's not a priority. Yeah. She found out she was at higher risk when she got the 2-digit result of her IQ test back. Yes, good. I love you people. There's nothing you can do about it. You're my favorite. Each one of you. Yes, you, individually. Especially Jonathan. Individually, you're my favorite too, Jonathan, just like everybody else. The more I venture into this world, the more Bart's teachings come more noteworthy. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that, Jonathan, very much. We recorded a video about 2 years ago talking about the best things a man can do in a given year. Did we? We've spoken about many things at many times. I'm sure you're right. And it was probably well worth watching. Beats off all medications. Good. Yep. Okay. Right. Anyways, let's hear some more about dangerously high levels, because this woman found out she was at risk, which is also a cause and effect statement, because risk implies danger, and danger implies a mechanism of action, doesn't it? Which would have to be underpinned by an experimental piece of science, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yes, it would. Does such a thing exist in the case of the lipid hypothesis? Spoiler, no. Anyway, tell us about it. Whatever your name was, Vina, wasn't it?
Average to have levels of Lp(a) that are dangerous.
Dangerous. Again, make sure you tell people that Lp(a) is dangerous as many times as you can in a short period of time. It's dangerous, everybody.
First, let's talk about LDL cholesterol particle size.
Let's not talk about LDL cholesterol because it's not a thing, remember? We've already covered that. Which are we talking about, LDL or cholesterol? And if you're talking about particle size, well, it's going to be the LDL and not the cholesterol you're talking about, because cholesterol is a molecule that only comes in one size. One size fits all. All right, so we must be talking about LDL particle size, never mind the cholesterol. Let's get the word out of there. The reason it's put in there is because we've demonized the word cholesterol, and if we put that in there, we can draw your attention to the fact that LDL bad. Okay? See that? That's how we do science these days, kids. That's how we educate the unwashed messages, isn't it, Ted?
LDL cholesterol is called the bad cholesterol.
Yes, it is. It's called bad. See that? It's called bad. I've been called a lot of things myself. Does that mean I am those things? To be fair, mostly I am. Most of them. Most of the things I've been called was pretty fair. But it's not necessarily a fait accompli, is it? I could call that a fluffy round thing. I'd be right. Absolutely right. It is fluffy and round. That was descriptive. Bad? In what way? In what way is it bad? Do you see how that's slightly different? I could call it a package, a lipid-containing package based around lipoproteins and its construction of a phospholipid bilayer nature. And I'd be right, absolutely, because that's a factual statement. That's a descriptive statement. But how would I pin a label good or bad on this thing? And it's not even cholesterol. LDL cholesterol, no such thing, equals bad cholesterol. Cholesterol only comes in one form. It's the same molecule, whether it's carried by HDL or by LDL. Whoops. Just the facts, though. I'm sorry about those facts. I know they're annoying for these lipid hypothesists who want to tell us bad cholesterol. Okay? Bad.
Its job is to carry cholesterol to different parts of the body where it's needed.
Oh, right. That's why it's so bad. Because its job, as encoded for by our genes, remember those genes being the peak of evolution, is to carry cholesterol, the stuff that we need there, to places where it's needed. That sounds dreadful. No wonder it's called bad. Now I understand.
But it can also deposit it into the arteries. But we do need...
Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. it can deposit it into the arteries. What does that mean exactly? Anybody? Deposit it into the arteries. I presume she means cholesterol. Does that mean in the lumen? Does that mean into the endothelial cells in some way? I thought this woman was going to tell us all about it.
LDL cholesterol. HDL cholesterol is called the good cholesterol.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that the loop is complete on that. We have yin and yang. We have good and bad cholesterol, even though cholesterol only comes in one form. Look in any biochemistry textbook you like. Any of them at all. But I'm glad that this theology is strong and well-formed in logic.
That's because its job is to go out in the body and collect excess cholesterol, bring it back.
Ah, right, that jolly old excess cholesterol that was put there by the jolly old gene set that's so inane after the entire history of existence and every positive and negative selection pressure ever imposed upon it to make damn sure there's too much cholesterol around, and under no circumstances, also as a aspect of part of that evolutionary process, to have developed transporters for the very same cholesterol in the gut where it can be dumped into the feces if there's too much. God, our genes are so stupid to have not done that, aren't they? Oh, hang on. It did. They did. The genes did. We have that. Excess cholesterol is dumped into the feces. Okay? The level of cholesterol in a person's blood is under the control of the fact that it cannot dissolve in the blood plasma and needs to be carried by transporters. So the way to control how much of it is in your blood is to control how many of those transporters are being transcribed. So the genes react to that stimulus by up or down regulating their activities accordingly. It's under the control of your genes. The level of cholesterol in your blood is exactly what it ought to be right now. Okay? Just crazy talk from me, though.
To the liver for disposal. Now, about the sizes of LDL cholesterol.
So the difference between the good cholesterol and the bad cholesterol in summary is that one of them has a job of taking cholesterol out to the tissues where it's needed, and the other one has a job of bringing back remnants, actually, to the liver for recycling. That's why one's good and one's bad. That makes all the logics, doesn't it? Fantastic. I'm glad that this is coming together for them in terms of her veracity of their theologically believed hypothesis. I'm glad that this all stacks up on some pretty solid foundation stones. And if you're not picking the slight hint of sarcasm in my voice by now, I think you're in the wrong place. And you should probably go and watch Mike the Vegan or something.
Particles. There are a variety of LDL particle sizes.
Yes, there are. Good. There are a variety of sizes. Aren't there? Yeah, Marshall. That's what she said.
There are some that people call large and fluffy.
Yeah, they do. See how those are descriptive terms and not really challengeable? Much better than terms like good or bad, which are challengeable.
They're not actually fluffy, but they are larger. And
see, fluffy is descriptive. Does that not look fluffy, that little image, or those little images? I think they're fluffy. Nice cat, by the way.
More buoyant. It is the
more buoyant. Oh, well, that's the important factor we need to consider. Buoyancy now. Okay, tell us all about the buoyancy.
These larger LDL cholesterol particles.
No, they're still not cholesterol.
That most people in the scientific community believe to be much less dangerous for our arteries.
Much less dangerous? That's interesting, considering there are no extant studies anywhere in the literature on this planet that can inform on risk as regards heart disease etiology as that relates to the level of any of the lipoproteins in the blood. No such study exists still. It never will. It cannot be done. Risk is an opinion statement, not a scientific matter of fact. And if you're going to use prospective cohorts and things, well, we'll get onto that another day perhaps. I'll do a session on that all by itself. Won't that be fun?
than the smaller, more dense ones. So why would this be? Well, most scientists believe that it's
well, it must be right if most scientists believe it. Let's hear it, though.
more difficult for the larger sized LDL cholesterol particles
still not cholesterol
to enter the artery walls.
No, that's nonsense. They believe that perhaps, but that's a silliness. She's imagining that the way in which cholesterol is entrapped sometimes in the endothelial cell linings is that it gets into the gap junctions. Ergo, a bigger one is harder to jam in there. Failing completely to understand that the way the bonding between the endothelial cells and cholesterol happens when it does happen is a molecular series of events. A better analogy would be like Velcro, thus meaning the size of the particle is completely unimportant. And it's not because they're getting jammed in between gap junctions that these things are becoming adherent when they do that. Wow. Yeah, okay. Field Marshal DC is in the house. All staff should snap to attention. A nice snappy salute for Field Marshal DC, the super buff hero of Pimbatia until he went soft and left. Just like the Air Marshal before him, they all get soft and leave. You'll be back, though. I know you will. Yes, right. Do you see how healthy she is from trying to lower her cholesterol? Yes, look how healthy she looks and full of energy and stuff. Yep. She must know what she's talking about because she's board certified and the science says, remember, the science that we need to trust. Because most scientists agree with what she's saying, apparently. Good. Let's hear about most scientists. Never mind me, I'm just a crackpot.
There's also some evidence that the smaller, more dense LDL cholesterol particles can be oxidized easier when they do enter the wall of the artery and become trapped.
No, they don't enter the artery wall and become trapped. That's not the process by which this occurs still. And if they are more easily oxidized, so because in that case, you're starting to get to the first point of contention, which is, there's only even a theory around the so-called atherogenicity of LDL when it has been deranged by oxidation, glycation, or both. In its native form, there is no suggestion of atherogenicity. In which case, the causal factor of the etiology of the disease process as regards the changes in the morphology to the tissues that are affected would seem to be one that involves the triggering of the immune system in some way. The immune system can be fooled and triggered to start attacking native tissues that it shouldn't in all sorts of different ways. Does that mean we should medicate people not to have tissues? Let's get rid of that dangerous level of tissue you have in your body. Goodness, all that tissue exposes you to risk, don't you see? That your immune system might respond to that tissue inappropriately for some reason, perhaps because of some other agent like, oxidation, glycation, or both, for example. Let's just get rid of all that tissue, that pesky, risky, dangerous tissue you've got, shall we? I'm glad the logicking is good here. Awesome.
And it's this oxidation that is one of the steps to forming plaque.
She's just outright admitted that right there. There it is. Yes, it's a required step. Goodness gracious. Wow.
So how does LDL cholesterol...
It's still not cholesterol, love.
Especially those small, denser particles cause atherosclerosis.
Now you've just gone a step too far and used that cause word, haven't you, lovely? The old cause word, that old chestnut. Good. See, cause and effect is established with experimental interventional science under appropriate control, observation, discipline of scientific process, etc. Experiments. The problem with humans is you can't do experiments on humans because it's not ethical. It's not moral, it's not practically possible, nor is it financially a viable thing to lock human beings in laboratories for their entire lifespans and expose them to the kind of things that they believe are causal factors in atherosclerosis to see which humans get it and which ones don't. You can't do that kind of work. The whole area is a theology and not a science. So we have to start being either reductionist by way of looking at tissues excised from a living human being and treated in isolation to that system from which those cells have come in a laboratory situation, ergo very likely invalidating any results you get from that as to what would happen in situ in a full living being, right? Where things like immune systems exist and there are checks and balances and communication between different areas of the body that lead to different glands excreting different things to keep homeostasis happening. You can't do that in a test tube. You can't simulate that. So that's reductionist work. Or you throw discipline of science out the window entirely and you say, because we can't do any science and I can't be bothered with all that reductionist stuff, here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to collect numbers from people around hard outcomes over various periods of time under no control, no observation whatsoever, and I'm not even going to report what I find. I'm going to adjust the result on the basis of the fact that I'm making guesses about how badly my discipline has crossed the line. Prospective cohort studies. So the thing that's missing is the bit in the middle, the actual science that would underpin the ability to make a cause and effect claim around the level of lipids in your blood as that relates to the etiology cause of heart disease. And while you're at that, you should probably start with a description of why it is that atherosclerotic lesions only develop in set, predictable, defined areas within the vascular endothelial surface area and not uniformly, given that those cells are exposed uniformly to the same level of the same lipoproteins under the same conditions that those lipoproteins exist in that person's blood. And yet the lesioning occurs in patterns in places where we can point to and say that's where it'll be and over there it won't. And I've been inside the veins of persons both living and deceased, not literally inside them. I've had them open to look at them. This is what I mean. Let's be clear about how we communicate, shall we? Goodness, Field Marshal. I know, Ted. I know. Right? And, you know, I'm not saying this because it's something I'm making up. We know where the lesioning will be and where it won't be. So, again, what does that say about the causal agent that you're talking about? Whoops. It's not going to work, is it? Still, you tell us your logic.
Atherosclerosis is the process where plaques form inside the arteries.
Yes, and what are those plaques made out of, by the way? I'll tell you. It's basically almost entirely nothing but scar tissue and clotting agents. Okay.
LDL particles enter the artery walls.
How does that happen? Give us the mechanisms of that exactly, if you even know what they are, our pharmacist friend. Do you? Do you know what those are, those mechanisms? Because you were inferring it was like they're getting jammed between the junctions of loose cells. And that was the only way in, because you said, you know, a lot of scientists believe that the big ones are safe because they won't fit. Oh, dear.
It's easier to enter if there's damage to the artery lining.
Ah! Well, there it is, kiddies. You know how I just said it happens in predictable places? That's why. Because the second step, or the other step that's required for an atherosclerotic lesion to start to develop, is damage expressed in either physical or chemical terms, functionality even, of the cells in given patches, given areas within the lining of the vascular tree on the high pressure side only, by the way, as well. So we need a couple of things for atherosclerosis to develop. Number one, we need physical, chemical, or functional damage to patches of cells within the vascular tree in these predictable places, which is where it always does happen. And we need the native lipoprotein to be deranged chemically, changed physically, that is, oxidized, or glycated, or both. Absent either of those, no disease can progress. Isn't that great? We've solved it. Nothing to do with lipids. Thank goodness we don't need the drugs after all, Farmer. Sorry about that. But let's hear about how we need the drugs.
That is called the endothelium.
Yeah.
They get trapped in this area.
Yeah, but again, tell us how that happens, love.
Behind the artery wall.
No. No. Goodness gracious. You're talking about transcytosis now. See, the thing about a particle, if it can transcytose its way through a cell to the other side of the cell and end up there, which it can, sure, it's not trapped there because it can transcytose back the other way too if it wants to. Something is holding it there. There is some chemical agent which is binding that delivery particle within that space for some reason. Why? Because it is deranged chemically from its natural state, and the body wants to lock it down so the immune system can come in there and deal with it, destroy it. If it's not oxidized or glycated, it will not be recognized as an invading protein and bound up there by the immune system reaction to that. Ergo, everybody happy. Everybody happy. Goodness gracious, this isn't hard to understand, is it?
And they become oxidized. This causes an inflammatory response, and our body sends different kinds of white blood cells. Some of these white blood cells are called macrophages. These macrophages engulf the LDL particles,
yes,
then turning into foam cells.
Well, once they get to the end of their usable life, that's a phase they can go through. Yes, they turn into what's called foam cells, yes.
They accumulate. These
yeah, but then mostly they die and break down and the materials are removed and flushed away, leaving scar tissue behind and some clotting agents.
These become fatty streaks that contribute to plaques.
No, they don't. A plaque can overlie a pool of lipid, if there is one there, but in 90-something point something percent of atherogenic plaques, even advanced plaques, there is no lipid core. It's just scar tissue and clotting agents still. Okay?
Plaques are within the artery walls, and it causes the artery walls to bulge, and it narrows the lumen of the artery.
Or it can go the other way and bulge outwards as well. It seems like the African tribes that have expressed quite a bit of atherosclerosis, probably as a function of the milk drinking as well as the blood drinking. Those two things in combination. But it seems like their atherosclerosis, they've developed somehow a means by which genetically theirs grows outwards and not inwards. Yeah, just an interesting side fact.
Sometimes these plaques just remain stable and nothing happens. If a plaque ruptures, you could have a heart attack or a stroke.
Yes, but absolutely true. You could have a heart attack or a stroke. But see how we're just left to believe that what she is saying is absolutely factual. And the cause of the atherosclerosis is bad cholesterol, which she's calling LDL cholesterol, which A, doesn't exist, as we've spoken about already, and B, well, let's just talk about the LDL. Is that the cause? No. Native LDL does not cause heart disease because the body doesn't respond to it in that way. $10 super chat action. We love us some super chat action up in here, so we do. I'll get to your comments after I'm finished babbling on, by the way, a bit more. There'll be a bit of interaction for sure. Right. Cool. Thank you, Tim from Braid. €10. Appreciate those. They'll keep Ted occupied for a few minutes. There we go. There it is. So anyway, cholesterol bad, okay, but no science whatsoever, just an idea, just a schema. You've said cholesterol gets trapped in the arteries, but you haven't told us how that happens, why that happens, or under what circumstances that happens, what things need to happen for that to occur. It just happens because you say so. Ergo, LDL is a risk, dangerous, especially the one that's got that curly-whirly protein on it that we haven't even got to yet. Okay, let's hear it.
So how does LDL cholesterol relate to something called ApoB?
Well, ApoB is an additional protein that gets appended on these things that changes the way they're recognized by the body. They're flagged slightly differently.
ApoB is short for apolipoprotein B.
Yeah.
It's a protein that carries and transports LDL cholesterol through the body.
Right, so the ApoB protein is the one that can be substituted for the other protein that designates an HDL. So it's the low-density lipoproteins that are designated by the substitution of ApoB. That's the thing that flags the thing, labels the thing, and causes the thing to have the size and density that it does via the anthropic principle, basically. That's the control mechanism. That's the thing that identifies it. It's that bit that they've shown as being pinky purpley. That's not in reality. That's just so that you can see that it's a thing that's part of this other globule thing. Okay. A protein that is under the instruction of your gene set to manufacture as and when it's required. Those genes being the peak of evolution, remember? Okay. But this is bad. Cool.
It's also on VLDL cholesterol and all other sizes and types of LDL cholesterol particles.
Master Chief, you'll need to report to Lord Edward Yellow after class for, well, down the back by that small guillotine, if you wouldn't mind, right next to where he's got that wetsuit with the bottom cut out on the coat hanger. He'll see you down there at the end of class. Don't come to class late. You're all right, Dave. You're all right. We know it. We know you've got other things on. We're just teasing you. It's all good. Right, we're just talking about the LDLs, though, and how they're bad. How they're bad, yes. All right. Tell us all about that.
Every LDL and VLDL cholesterol particle contains exactly one ApoB protein.
Good, exactly one. The number of the counting shall be one. Yes, that's the thing that designates what it is. Good.
And it turns out that cardiovascular risk.
Whatever you're going to say next. No, love. Risk, you just said. There are no studies extant in the literature anywhere on this planet that can inform us on risk of heart disease as that relates etiologically, cause and effect, to any other factor whatsoever. There are no studies available on this topic anywhere in the literature still, and there never will be still. You're going to give us a theology right now. So disclaim it as such. This is not science, okay?
Is better assessed by the count of all the ApoB containing LDL particles.
That's an association. And it's by no means a good, valid, or even particularly useful prognostic guide. In fact, it is an absolute ridiculous pseudoscientific bunch of claptrappery. It's incredible the poor level of residuals they're able to demonstrate around even the trend line that they're able to generate out of this stuff, which is statistical speak for the noise around the signal is so huge that this is laughable. And even if it was good, it's an association. How do we know even a strong association is causal? There might be, and in this case, there is absolutely a third, fourth, fifth, or even umpteen dozenth different contributing factor, any one of which might have been the actual causal lever, the actual effector of the outcome result. These are co-varying outcome variables. Covariance has to be controlled before you can speak about cause and effect. Ergo, risk. or hazard or danger. Because at the end of the day, there is a strong positive and predictive value between whether or not I purchased an ice cream on any given day and whether I might have got sunburned that day, individually and as a population at large. The same kind of relationship at large would exist with some noise. Does that mean I should mitigate my risk of sunburn by not buying ice cream? It's ridiculous. Fundamentally, utterly ridiculous, because everybody knows that if you're going to get sunburned, the effector was the sun, not the jolly ice cream. But somehow, Big Pharma are blind to this rule of epistemology, this basic discipline of science that tells us if we're going to talk cause and effect, we better make damn sure that we eliminate other causes. No, let's clap onto LDL as bad because we've said so, and now we can start assessing risk of disease associated with levels of this stuff, but they still haven't given us a mechanism. They said, it gets in the artery wall if it's oxidized, which is parsimonious at best, isn't it? Doesn't cover what goes on in heart disease, not even close, and ignores entirely basic things like, well, if LDL was the cause, then the disease would be expressed evenly everywhere on the internal side of the endothelial lining of the vascular tree on both high and pressure sides of the system, wouldn't it? It isn't. Whoopsie daisy. I think we're done with cause and effect right there. I hope this is going up some flagpoles. Right, anyway, make some progress, lovey.
Instead of the LDL level. So you could have a low LDL or a normal LDL and still actually have high cardiovascular risk? No,
still not risk. So you got risk as a cause and effect statement still.
If you have a high ApoB count, that is because each of those small, dense, more dangerous LDL particles each have one ApoB, and the larger...
There you go. Larger is better. That's what she said. Goodness gracious. The problem, of course, with the logic being that the thing that she's saying is the danger, the risk, the number of these ApoB particles, is the causal effector of the disease. Well, it still isn't. So this is still an invalid argument.
Less dense, more buoyant LDL particles also have one ApoB. And since the smaller ones are more dangerous for our...
So we've got lower risk because it says so on the screen and higher risk because it says so on the screen, but no evidence exists anywhere in the literature still with the capacity to inform us on any aspect of risk. Still, the word that's being used and abused there is risk. Perhaps if they use the word association, as would be the disciplined scientific approach to use the appropriate terminology for what has been assessed, association, maybe then I wouldn't have a problem with what she's saying. I wouldn't, because it would be correct then. As it is, risk is not a correct statement. No.
Arteries than the larger ones. It is that total ApoB count that ends up being more important to look at.
No, it isn't. Unless you're a believer in this particular theology. Isn't that right, Ted? You keep twiddling that knob. Those knobs. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious.
For cardiovascular risk?
No, not risk still.
LDL level.
No.
Now, have you ever heard of that person who's in their late 40s or 50s and had a heart attack and they seemed healthy?
No.
That's probably because they had dangerously high levels of a subtype of LDL.
Oh, there you go, see? If you're apparently healthy because of your species-appropriate, species-specific diet, based on the exact evolutionary process I've been talking about all along here, then you, my friend, have dangerous levels, probably dangerous levels of some other lipoprotein that are so dangerous and so insidious that they keep you healthy until the very point where suddenly you're not anymore. Okay, I wonder if the mechanism of this disease process will be outlined any better than the last one.
Cholesterol particle called Lp(a).
Yes, Lp(a), the killer. Remember from the beginning, this is the one that's the killer.
This is short for lipoprotein a. High Lp(a) is not this rare condition. 1 in 5 of us on this planet have high levels. Right,
so 1 in 5 of us have genes which have met every rigor of the evolutionary process in terms of positive and negative selection pressures to this point. 1 in 5 of us have genes so deranged that we are now going to generate a protein on purpose with malice aforethought that is going to cause us to die. Good. Love the logic.
Here in the US, those 1 in 5 are usually walking around not having any idea because...
Any idea of what?
Our doctors don't routinely test for it.
Ah, see, that's the thing. Doctors need to test for everything. Otherwise, what's the point of having a doctor then? Oh, yeah. Maybe that goes up some flagpoles.
Lp(a) is genetic.
Ah, well then, we're in trouble, aren't we?
People with genetically high levels of Lp(a) have 2 to 4 times more likelihood.
Ah, no, they don't. Because likelihood is a word that's akin to risk. It's being misused here again. You mean there was an association in a population of people who were tested at some time in the past, those people being those genes that those people possessed under the conditions that those people were assessed at that time. And even if that turns out to be a good, strong association, which it probably won't, does that say anything whatsoever about cause nor effect? Ice creams and sunburn. Movies by Nicolas Cage, drownings in swimming pools. The divorce rate versus the intake polyunsaturated fatty acid containing margarines. That one's probably causal, to be fair, when you think about it. That last one. Strike that last one from the list of examples. No good. Carry on.
Of having early heart disease, heart attack, or stroke.
Right, so no evidence supports the claim you just made there, love, none at all. No, risk is not covered in the literature still.
If you have the inherited gene for Lp(a),
there you go, then you need our drugs for life because you have that gene and there's nothing you can do about it. Be scared because you have a dangerous level of Lp(a), the killer, remember?
Then your siblings and your children have a 50% chance of also having that gene.
Exactly 50, is it?
Lp(a) looks like another LDL cholesterol particle.
No, so it's still not cholesterol, love. Still.
It has the ApoB protein on it, just like all the LDL cholesterol particles do. But Lp(a) has one additional feature. It has an additional protein attached to that ApoB protein. And that protein is...
It's not green, by the way. It's just shown that way.
Lipoprotein a. It hangs off the side of it, and it has what is referred to as Kringle structure.
Right.
And by the way, the reason why it is called Lp(a) is because Lp(a) actually refers to the gene that encodes apolipoprotein a.
That's a fascinating factoid. Thank you for that.
And that is the gene that controls the amount of Lp(a) in our body.
Right. So there's a gene that encodes for its production, a gene that has survived every negative selection pressure thrown at it throughout all time. Right. Good.
Scientists refer to it as being more sticky.
Oh, well, if you refer to something as being more sticky, then it is sticky. Good.
I'm
loving the level of scientific rigor that's being exposed here by this. I mean, I know she's trying to keep it simple, but actually there's a difference between a simple explanation of something that is correct and a simplification of a complex system, that simplification rendering an incorrect message as to how the mechanism works, which is what she's doing. I hope you're seeing that. I hope that's coming through. That's my point. It's just nonsense.
How it can easily enter arterial walls.
Again, tell us the mechanism of that. Explain that. How can it enter the walls of our arteries?
And get stuck there.
And how does it get stuck there? Again, it's the same argument you gave us before. You still haven't given us any idea of how that occurs. What is the mechanism? I could go through it if you like, but that's not the point of this. The point is to point out that she's not doing that, and needs to be, because if you want to say this is what happens and it's a problem, then you need to be able to tell us why it happens and under what circumstances and where, which are the things she's missing still.
And oxidize, resulting in plaque.
Really?
So it's not actually sticky?
Ah, well, I thought it was sticky. And yeah, scientists called it sticky. So scientists saying things, they don't just say things to scientists. No. Is it sticky or is it not sticky? I'm confused now. Are you confused, Dave? Master Chief Dave? I'm confused. Perhaps we should put on our junior Birdman rocket pants and fly away.
That's how it's being described.
Well, if it's being described that way, that's all we need to know. We stupid people. We don't need to know how it works or the mechanism of it or why it is that what you're saying is complete, absolute garbage, love. We just need to understand that that's the way it's being described by scientists, so that's all you need to know, pleb, peasant. All right?
Lifestyle changes, like...
Lifestyle changes. I knew there was going to be some effort required on my part eventually. I'm not interested anymore if there's going to be effort required on my part. Goodness gracious, no. I'm all against effort on my part. How about you? Do you like effort to change your lifestyle? Like, oh, really?
Healthy diet and exercise.
Oh, God. I don't want any of that. Do you?
Don't give a noticeable effect to the Lp(a) levels.
Oh, well, what's the point then? Because these things that are encoded for in the very genes that are designed to keep us alive as a species are actually there to kill us, it turns out. And there's nothing we can do about it. Perhaps you've got some drugs that work better than lifestyle changes and exercise. Let's hear about your drugs.
Also, statins.
Good. I'm glad. Oh, I'm so pleased. Oh, now we can relax. It's easy. We just pop this pill. That's all you do. You don't have to worry about anything anymore. You don't have to worry about those genes that are designed to kill you. Or that Lp(a) stuff anymore. You can just take this dangerous contraindicated metabolic poison that probably will kill you. This thing here is a metabolite pathway blocker. This is an HMG coenzyme A reductase inhibitor. This thing knocks down your ability to make all sorts of things in your body, like ubiquinol, coenzyme Q10, tends to lead to muscle degradation, rhabdomyolysis, death of muscles, including the heart, the very thing it's supposed to protect. Also associated with an increase in the incidence of ALS, a universally fatal neurodegenerative disease, of something like 18,700% or something. Don't quote me on the exact number. It was something like that. Awesome. All for absolutely no demonstrated increment in life expectancy in a prospective cohort study even to speak of. But tell you what, though, we can sell this stuff to people because of dangerous proteins that your body makes for billions and billions and billions of dollars. Jobs are good on. We don't need to worry about anything. There you go, folks. Relax. Now you just take this drug. Don't read the fine print.
Not lower Lp(a) levels.
Oh, well, they don't even do that. No, of course not, because what actually statins do is they lower the ability to synthesize cholesterol from non-cholesterol sources. That might reduce the expression.
Want to know how Tom, Mike, and Luke went from feeling stiff, sore, and injured every day?
Injured?
Some things you can do.
Right. What was I talking about? Who knows? Who cares? Before I was so rudely interrupted. I think you get where I was going from to anyway. Must be all that lack of statin taking that causes my brain to be full of too many things like what I'm supposed to be doing after this and things. But anyway, somebody remind me. Oh, she'll get back to it.
And I'll
Oh, yeah, statins reducing the ability to produce cholesterol, and that causing perhaps a reduction in the expression of the protein, which causes the lipoprotein carrier of it to be assembled. So, yeah. But what she's saying is that statins haven't even been shown to particularly reduce the expression of ApoB, low-density lipoprotein carriers that express this Lp(a) as well. So they're no good for that. So statins won't help with that or anything else, by the way, but that's for another day.
Mention them in a minute. All nationalities in the world have a risk of having the gene for Lp(a).
A risk of having a gene? You mean the gene is prevalent all over the world? That would have been the accurate scientific way of describing the phenomena we're describing here. The gene is ubiquitous throughout humanity. 1 in 5. That's how stupid our genes are.
But some people are actually more genetically at risk than others.
No, so you're genetically at risk. That ignores the fact that genes are not a fait accompli. No, they're not. Genes are actively alterable in terms of the expression of them doing what they do and the balance at which each one of them in a given person does its thing, thus providing for a rich tapestry of so many degrees of freedom, a milieu of degrees of freedom, that it's impossible to trace cause and effect in any of it. It's a fascinating thing to learn about. I spent several decades doing it. But at no stage does any of that, even high level of training and involvement in the research myself, lead me to a position where I can start making cause and effect statements about lipids and heart disease any more than it can this woman, because it can't be done still.
The people most at risk are those...
No studies exist talking about risk. No. Well, they talk about risk, but they're incapable of describing anything to do with risk.
Those from Africa, and the second most at risk are from South Asia.
No. You mean the gene is expressed more highly in those populations. Nothing to do with risk still.
South Asia meaning India and the immediate surrounding countries. Those at the very lowest genetic risk are those from East Asia. And so that would be China and the countries just right around China.
God, I love that she's so personable and her presentation style is so adoptable, isn't it? Goodness gracious.
China. In Canada and Europe, doctors will often order an Lp(a) blood test.
Why? It's genetic. There's nothing you can do about it. And statins won't help. What are we going to do? There must be a new drug. She must be getting to it soon.
Once in your lifetime. The reason is because that level doesn't usually fluctuate, although it...
yes, it can do, in fact. For example, a woman after menopause. There's one example.
Could actually increase a bit in women after menopause.
There you go.
But by the time you're about age 5, your Lp(a) level will be about what it'll be for the rest of your life.
Right. It's almost like it's under the control of your genes or something. Good. But I hope there's a drug that can intervene, because our genes are so stupid.
So why don't doctors in the US routinely order this blood test?
Because there's no drug?
Or at least once in your...
I'm just guessing now, aren't I?
...lifetime. It would make sense to me if you order it once when you get your first lipid labs.
Why, if there's nothing you can do about it? It's in your genes, remember?
As an adult. Well, the reason for that is because right now we don't have any current FDA-approved medication therapies that are approved specifically to treat Lp(a).
Ah, right. So there's no drug for it. That's why we don't test. Relax. Take those statins, it won't help anyway. Or maybe she's got some other suggestions. I hope it's not lifestyle, though. God, that'd annoy me.
And lifestyle doesn't...
Oh, come on. Oh, I'm good at this game, aren't I, kids? Hilarious.
help Lp(a). So I think that doctors...
Nick Norwitz can tell us about it. Sake.
Don't want to test it because they don't know how to advise patients. if they do have the genetically high dangerous levels.
Remember, dangerously high genetic levels, yes?
Before we talk about medications to lower Lp(a),
Yeah.
I want to mention that there's a link between low thyroid levels and high LDL cholesterol.
So?
Including elevated levels of Lp(a).
So?
It's important to talk to your doctor to have your thyroid levels checked. And
why? They can't do anything about your Lp(a). Remember? We just covered that.
Normalized if you're going to treat high cholesterol.
Why would you treat high cholesterol? Because number one, high cholesterol is an arbitrary value judgment on the physiological level of cholesterol being expressed by your genes under the control of your genes and your physiology at this time, being optimized for your needs at this time, according to a plan that's gone back probably at least 3,800 million years, and probably much longer than that, actually. Just because we humans don't yet quite understand exactly what the genes have in mind, doesn't mean that because we can make a drug that intervenes in what they're doing, we're much more cleverer, does it? It's arrogant and stupid in the extreme, actually. Goodness gracious. Genetically, we're gonna try and treat a proposed disease, which is nothing more than a lab level that we don't like because we're told not to like it because it's risky and dangerous, without any mechanism of how that's so at all. Wow. I'm glad they've got this covered.
I'll link the references below.
Oh, the references. I'm glad there's some references. Are they properly controlled experimental studies with human subjects, establishing absolutely that there are no other degrees of freedom and there's a cause and effect relationship between lipids of any kind and heart disease? Is that the references you're talking about? Because if they are, I've really missed the boat. Being a field that I studied for over 10 years and taught and researched in myself for over 10 years, it would have been a pretty big oversight on my part to miss a whole body of literature in that field that I didn't know existed. I can tell viewers quite confidently that it does not exist. So that's not the references she's referring to. Okay? Sorry about that.
There are, though, some medications that we currently have that can lower
can. See that word can? That leaves maybe not two on the table still.
Lp(a) levels a bit. And there are a few more coming that can substantially lower Lp(a) levels.
Oh, good. I'm glad. That dangerous stuff that we need to substantially lower, which we can only possibly do with the intervention of your fine drugs.
So the first medicine that we actually have now that can lower Lp(a) levels a little bit is called niacin. So,
right. Well, that's not a medicine. That's vitamin B3. oh dear. Dear, oh dear.
So niacin comes in a prescription version, and you can also get niacin without a prescription.
Oh, if it's a prescription, that must be a drug then, or a medicine.
But I don't advise you to start taking niacin without talking to your doctor and actually having it prescribed to you.
Why? How many hours of study did your doctor do on nutrition and nutrition requirements and physiology in their entire rotation and learning as an allopathic physician?
This is because niacin actually does have risks and side effects.
Risks and side effects. The second word is the one that's the appropriate word. Potential side effects. It's nothing to do with risk still. In fact, it's predetermined. It's the anthropic principle. Any person who is going to react negatively to any given agent will. And if they're not going to, they won't. There's no risk. There are no odds. It's decided ahead of time. We just don't know what the result is until we do the study. That's why we have to do the study. And that's why we're not going to do the study, because it's dangerous, unethical. Okay? Goodness sake. Why is this so hard to understand for people? Not you people. I love you people. You're smart and intelligent. Unlike these drug pushers.
And you have to be monitored when you're on niacin. Niacin only lowers Lp(a) a small amount.
So what? Why would we want to lower it any amount at all? Our genes are stupid still?
Maybe about 10%. The other medications that we currently have that can lower Lp(a) levels are called PCSK9 inhibitors.
Oh, great. They don't have any side effects at all either, do they?
They go by names like Repatha and Proluent. These are actually kind of expensive, and
there is that too, yeah. 15,000 a year or something.
They're not FDA approved to lower Lp(a) levels, and so insurance probably won't pay for them if the doctor's prescribing it for that reason. They're usually only...
If the doctor's prescribing it for that reason, then that doctor ought to be struck off the medical register, A, for using drugs off license, and B, for showing an absolute destitution of comprehension of the physiological workings of the human body, that they would even consider that remotely an indicated course of action in any given human being at any time ever. How's that? Was that clear? I hope so.
Paid for by the insurance if someone has very high LDL levels.
Yes, don't forget, it's very dangerous to have very high levels.
That isn't responding to a statin, or if they're not tolerating a statin.
Sorry, what? I thought statins were entirely tolerable for everybody. I'm confused again. I wish I wasn't so easily confused.
PCSK9 inhibitors can lower Lp(a) levels by about 20 to 30%.
Right, well, again, why would you want to do that?
So it's still not that much, and it may not be enough to make much of a difference.
To what? Because we're still missing entirely the foundation blocks of this entire argument, aren't we? Because you haven't provided us, love, have you, with a single scrap of evidence that anything that you've had to say is underpinned by any experimental science of any kind. You've given us a nice story. Perhaps next time we should have a bit more emphasis on the dragons, a bit less incest, and maybe stop killing all the best characters quite so early on. Also have a decent ending, for God's sake. After 8 seasons. Absolutely ridiculous. The whole thing. Okay, I'm over it now.
Next, we're going to talk about the new medicines that are specifically going to be there to...
Oh, good. There are new medicines on the way. Relax. Take the statin that won't work. Take the PCSK9 inhibitor that might work a bit but won't make any difference to anything anyway, both of which will definitely fuck you up in other ways, for sure, I would suggest. That's just my opinion. Doesn't have to be anybody else's. And relax, because more better drugs are coming to deal with your stupid gene set. Your ridiculous gene set that doesn't know what it's doing after all this time. Okay. Whew. I'm pleased that you've got this under control.
Treat those of us with high Lp(a) levels.
Yes, just call it high and point to the fact that that's dangerous again without actually giving us anything to go on to hang our hat on that.
If you're getting value from this video...
Oh, yes, I am. I don't know how you guys are enjoying it, but I'm having a ball with this video. This is hilarious, is it not?
Will you please let me know in the comments, or...
I think I've made several comments to this video. Perhaps you'll watch it and learn something.
Give the video a like.
So we won't be doing that.
So I know about 4 possible medicines that are in the pipeline. The generic names for the medicines are zerlasiran, lepodisiran, olpasiran, and pelacarsen.
3 of
these new medications will work using technology called siRNA.
RNA, folks. How's the learning curve? How is the learning curve on that? RNA, you say, genetic instructions. What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong with that? That's a great idea.
Which stands for short interfering RNA.
That sounds fantastic. How can I interfere with my RNA in a short way? The very thing that's the result of all this evolution to this point, the thing that knows exactly what it's doing to maintain my homeostasis and my prospects of longevity and all of that. Yes, I know about disposable soma theory, you fucking idiots, those of you that want to comment to that effect. I've covered that too at length. Perhaps I'll do it again on another video. Yep. Good. I know, she's not got enough medical shelves, has she, at all? Yeah. Oops. Medical shelves, there we go. And yes, if you're getting value from this video, make sure, if you're getting value from my video, give it a like. Don't be afraid to, flick out the old URL and say, this guy's a bit nutty, but he's worth listening to, even though it's over an hour long. It's pretty good stuff. It's a pretty good seminar on, well, how poor medical science really is in many aspects, especially that regarding the lipid hypothesis, heart disease, the allopathic interventions there too, so-called, etc. Oh, right. Anyway, let's finish off. Talk about interfering with our genes again, though, because we didn't learn the first time.
To break down messenger RNA molecules that have written instructions to build the apolipoprotein a. Without this protein being made, LP a won't be made.
So genes that react to the environment in which you place them, if you blockade their ability to make a protein that they're making a bit, surely they would then react by upregulating their making of that thing, and it would counteract itself to some degree. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
These new medications have already been shown to reduce LP a levels in the body.
Oh, fantastic. Good. We can all relax.
By 70 to 90%.
Right. And what happened to people's outcomes long-term over multiple decades taking this? Oh, that's right. You haven't done multiple decadal safety and efficacy studies on the long-term health outcomes of people taking this genetic interference drug that isn't even available yet. What could go wrong? I can't think of a single thing that could go wrong if we did that.
High levels are considered 50 or above.
Considered. Well, if anyone wants to make a considered statement about the levels of any of the lipoproteins in your blood at any given time, the considered statement is, well, those are all under the control of my gene set. It knows what it's doing. Should we move on? That's the considered statement.
Low or normal levels are below 30. The reason I'm
according to whom, on the basis of what?
So interested in this. I am half Caucasian and half South Asian. So I personally have a higher genetic risk of having dangerously high levels of LP a.
I found out I was at risk because my genes and stuff. And I realized that all I need to do is drug myself harder to overcome that pesky evolution and stuff that my gene set has been subject to all along. And also ignoring the fact that I should be among the healthiest people alive because I've got hybrid vigor, 50% one thing and 50% another thing from very disparate geological areas that those gene pools have been derived from. No? Okay.
So I did take the blood test.
Oh, well, there you go. See, that's what you did right. You took the test to find out what your risk is of expressing a protein that will absolutely kill you because we said so, because it gets stuck in your arteries or something. S&D, is it sticky or is it sticky? This, Dave, Master Chief Burgess, this is one of those situations I would suspect is very sticky indeed. In fact, this is the stickiest situation since Sticky the Stick insect got stuck on a sticky bun, wouldn't you say? I certainly would. Anyway, let's get back to how we can deal with this dangerous genetically determined protein that's going to kill us.
Actually was able to get the test done for free.
Oh, well, that's good.
I will put the information in the description of how you may be able to be tested for free as well.
Well, why, there's fuck all we can do about it, remember?
As long as that is...
Maybe take some PSK9 inhibitors and some statins, that won't help. But there's some good old-fashioned RNA stuff coming up soon. That'll be awesome. Can't wait for that.
Still being available. If you have ever been tested for LP a and you feel comfortable sharing the results, please let me know in the comment. And if you want more information about medications, supplements.
Yeah, if you want more information, I would suggest stick around this channel, kiddies, and not so much that one. Pretty much that's the state of the nation here in Pimbatia at this time. Let's tread through some of the commentaries that have been coming up as I've been waffling on for nearly an hour and a half. Yes. So newbie here, is LDL really like the fire truck at a house fire? I did suggest to you that you stick around. I hope you did stick around to get the full glory of that explanation there. Basically, the LDL transporter is a vehicle in which lipids are moved from place to place in the body, and they have roles in the accepting of lipids for transit, the transiting of those lipids, and the unloading of those lipids at the destination. Pretty much, they're a vehicle, no more, no less. There aren't good ones and bad ones. That's not like, Fords versus Holdens or anything like that. They're all encoded for by the same gene set. We're all playing to the same, the gene set is all playing to the same end game, which is to maintain your homeostatic situation, to keep you as it is, alive and healthy, really. Skipping forward past where everyone said there's no sound, and then there was sound at the very beginning. Good. Good. Yes. So she's a drug dealer. I know I brought that one up earlier, but it turns out we were right. Unfortunately, yes. Fancy that, a pharmacist who just wants to push drugs that probably won't work to solve lab result numbers that don't need intervention because they've got nothing to do with health outcomes in any case. It's all theological stuff that we all just need to believe. Don't question the science. It's safe and effective. Right, good. Moon from Germany. Very good. San Francisco's in the house. Poland's in the house. Why 2 different vehicles for the same cargo? Well, one is an outwards only and one is a backwards only, I guess. It's like a train system in that regard, although it's not a train system because they don't move down tracks or anything like that, but that's an analogy. Los Angeles is in the house. Big is bad or is big good? Or is bigger must be better? It's better than bad. It's good. Yes. All right. Yeah, it turned out that was correct, wasn't it? Unfortunately, but we knew that was coming. Yep. Well, you did hear it a couple of times, according to whom, on the basis of what? Good stuff. Yes. Again, I know I brought that one up earlier. Yes, that's what she said. Yep. Yes, the killer particle. Yep. Very good. Yes. Doesn't the liver produce cholesterol if you need it? Yes, it does. Absolutely. Cool. It can do that from acetyl coenzyme A, ergo it can make up the cholesterol molecule from carbon skeletons from fats or carbohydrates or proteins or alcohol, as it turns out. It's one of the reasons that the level of cholesterol in your blood is so easily controlled, because body can make a bunch of it if it needs to quickly, and it can excrete a bunch of it quickly if it needs to as well, in that receptor I was talking about in the guts. Yes. Indeed, I find her lack of cholesterol disturbing. Join me. I will complete your training. Something dark side. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yep, we're still waiting for your heart attack, Rick. We've been waiting for 40 years, haven't we? Yeah. Did she have a go at explaining how one of them is bad? I think she had some sort of a go. I don't think it actually hit the mark, though, did it? No. Again, what a shock. Yes. What are we talking about here now? Vitamins A, D, E, and other things are carried by LDL along with cholesterol. Yep. Why is LDL demonized by the medical community? Well, so they can sell you drugs, Pete. Important drugs like the ones that we've currently got that don't work, but maybe you could try them anyway, or these ones that we're inventing now based on that perfectly safe and effective RNA technology that we've all found to be perfectly safe and effective already to deal with a lab result that has nothing whatsoever to do with heart health outcomes in any way, shape, or form, in a cause and effect way. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes, danger, Will Robinson, danger. Yes, good. Yep. Yes, I know I brought this one up earlier as well, but it was so funny. I thought it was worth mentioning twice. Yes, he is. He's still on it. Aren't you, Ted? Good boy. Good boy. Yes. Anyways, let's move to a more recent commentary. Talk amongst yourselves. You have been, of course. And quite really so, because I've been banging on for more than an hour. Yeah. Yep. But yes, we love us some Juliet here. Yes. Healthy DL and lousy DL. Oh, Jesus, really? Yes. Oh. Yes, she has to misinform an uneducated public to make a living. That's what they do. Yeah. Again, yes, that's good. The cures. What's been cured? Yep. Yep. Good stuff. LDL over 300, trying to get it higher than that. Good. Good. Don't you know how dangerous that is, Pete? Goodness, that's dangerous. You better get on those statins and PSK9 inhibitors and all of that safe and effective RNA stuff that you need that hasn't been approved yet, to make sure that you keep your cholesterol at the right level, to make them feel happy about the numbers that you've got. Don't worry about how healthy you are, your affect, or anything like that. Yeah, that's what she said. No singing. Yes. I wasn't seriously suggesting anyone should listen to Mike the Vegan. God. Yes. Yes. What is a GI community? Yes. Good point. I don't know. That's an association, and you've made a cause and effect claim there. You said lowers life expectancy. That's a mechanistic cause and effect claim. No, there's no evidence to support that. The association that is demonstrable is that lower LDL is associated with more mortality, earlier mortality. That's the correct statement. Of course I use Instagram. Dave will be back here in Pimbatia. Field Marshal Dave, beast of a man, lifting big heavy logs. And that was just when he was playing with Ted. Yes, soft and fluffy Ted, the very one. Yep. Yes. I try not to use Instagram for anything other than posting videos around the farm either. But whatever. Yes, dumb as a box of hair. Do you all agree? The big one is coming. Is that some kind of warning? The end of the earth in some way. Apparently it's going to end in October or something, because apparently there's an inter-star, this solar system thing, matter of some kind. Not a comet, apparently. A probe or a spaceship, maybe, they're saying. Some of them. Some of they. 250,000 kilometers an hour or something, flying through the solar system to come and spy on us or something. Yes, do hit the like button. Well, they nearly were, weren't they? But there's more better stuff coming. You know, that good old RNA stuff. Yep. Good. Can atherosclerotic lesions be reversed or resolved? Yes, they can. Absolutely. You bet. I would suggest that if a person wants to optimize the likelihood of reversing such a disease, if they have it in their body, would be to follow my 5 health hacks that you need to know, all 5, on a daily/weekly basis. That's what I would do if I were a person wanting to reverse that kind of thing. You'll find that on my channel. It's called 5 health hacks you need to know, or something very similar to that. Go and do all 5 of those things, and that will be good. Particles are bad. Okay? Bad particles. Okay. Kia ora whānau. You will have to stay behind after class, Joff. Just as you'll be in good company though. The Master Chief will be back there with you. He's going to meet Ted after class down the back, where he's got the large guillotine and that wetsuit with the bottom cut out, and I think he's just brought in that bucket as well with the soapy frogs in it, Joff. So that'll be fun for you after class. And yes, out of all of that, you probably will get some glycocalyx damage from Ted, I would suggest. Hey, Mark, how are you? Good to see you, mate. Yes, indeed, DC's story is super inspiring. Anyone that hasn't heard DC's story can hear it on this very channel, or indeed on DC's channel, or on many other channels that DC's been on, telling his harrowing story of survival, love, hate, and incredibly long lunch breaks that he has. It's an incredible story. And you should see it if you haven't. Question. Apart from a 0 to low carb foods, might vitamin K2, nattokinase, and serrapeptase help? Sure, they might. Yes. All right. Scanning through some of the comments. Sometimes cholesterol just happens, like that other stuff that just happens. Question, even if deranged particles get trapped, the body could still clear and repair? Yes. So only in environments of high inflammation and ongoing inflammation, yes, and high oxidative stress would the body be unable to repair, thus scar up. Pretty much. That's it in a nutshell, yes. It's a rich tapestry, ins and outs, many, many ins and outs that lead to, whatever is expressed in terms of the outcome at the end of it all, yes. Yes, I'm glad you caught me live too. It's always fun. No, I'm not blaming anything on anything else. I'm saying that was an interesting association. There are no studies on the mass eye that can prove what causes what. I never inferred there were. Yes. So LDL needs to be deranged by glycation and or oxidation in order to cause damage to, yes, it does. There are those that say no, it doesn't. They're wrong. They don't have any evidence for that. Yes. LDL bad, end of discussion. Okay, I'm glad. There we go. I've been wrong for the last hour and 37 minutes, not to mention the 20 or so years before that. I've been wrong. LDL bad. Okay, bad. Yes. Yes. Yeah, we got that. Thank you for the explanation. Yep. Yes. God, we're a bit fixated on the bigger is better thing, isn't it? Is it true that Chuck Norris scared all his atherosclerotic lesions away just by looking at them funny? Yes, it is true. Absolutely. Of course it is. Yes. Perhaps she does. I think using the word think when referring to many people who like to make YouTube videos is probably a bit generous. More like monkey grinders, I think. Certain people, nobody in particular. I'm just making a generalized statement about monkey grinders making movies about stuff they actually don't understand. Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't get to the Carolese. Should have brought up Carolese. It's very important, to bring that up all the time. Do you think some parts of the world never got to cooking like Ethiopia or even tribes? There are even raw dishes all around the world that are still eaten. Thoughts? If you want to eat raw meat, you eat as much raw meat as you like, mate. I prefer to have my meat at least partially cooked, and in some cases quite well done. Depends from time to time and from meat to meat. But you do you. I'm not sure what your question's about or why. Yes, there are some parts of the world that don't particularly cook their meat very much. Inuit, perhaps, would be an example. They do cook meat often, but they also do quite happily eat uncooked meat. Right. Pretty sure the Maasai smoke weed too. Not good for atherosclerosis. Well, perhaps not. Yeah, again, I wasn't blaming atherosclerosis on the milk or the meat. I was saying it was an interesting association that they have a lot of milk and a lot of meat. They also express atherosclerosis, and it tends to grow outwards rather than inwards. That's what I said. So don't misrepresent what I said, you naughty, naughty people. Yes, that was fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. And if you didn't, well, you're in the wrong place. You're not my people if you don't enjoy what I do. Tell me all about it in the chat, though. It's very important that you tell me how bad I am, because how will I know that I'm a bad, bad person if you don't tell me? Okay. Okay, if you say so. Nothing's permanent, including anything at all. There are no permanent things. Everything is malleable, fungible, changeable, interchangeable. Your genes are reactive. They will react to the situation in which they find themselves. And DC also has a pretty good response to that same question right there. Of course he does. Yes, that's what she said. That's what she said. That. Yes. I think I'm just about done. It's heading towards 2 hours. I can only keep the vibe of the show rolling so long on my own without Ted helping at all, are you, Ted? Well, I suppose he's helping in one way, aren't you? Hey, good boy. Well, Ted, shall we say goodbye? Was that enough? I think it is. Nearly 2 hours. So bye-bye nicely. Bye-bye nicely. Oh, God. That was going to be an obvious one, wasn't it? Can't help himself. I can't do a thing with him. Anyway, I'm not even going to sing the song because you all know it. You know what I have for breakfast, don't you? Steak and eggs and steak. That's what you should have for breakfast. See you next time.